Washington is the capital of the United States of America. It was named after the country's first president, George Washington. The territory of the District of Columbia and the city of Washington coincide and are administered by a single municipality. Most of the time, for practical reasons, the two are considered one. The district last had two municipalities in 1871, when Georgetown lost its independence. The powers of the local government and the mayor are narrower than elsewhere in the United States, as Congress has authority over the city and county. However, the residents of the district do not have full representation in the Congress. They only have one representative in the House of Representatives, who only has the right to consult, but they can participate in the presidential election with 3 electoral votes. Washington is the seat of all 3 branches of the United States federal government. The headquarters of the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the Organization of American States and other national and international institutions are also located here. Washington, especially the National Mall Park, is often the scene of large political demonstrations. The city has many national historical monuments, and museums, making it a popular tourist destination. Its common name in English is D.C., pronounced DeGeezy, or simply Washington. Previously, it was also referred to as Federal City or Washington City. The name D.C. is often used to make it clear that it is the city of Washington and not the state of Washington. The 1790 District of Columbia, founded on July 16, is a federal district defined by the Constitution of the United States of America. Congress exercises administrative authority over it, and it has delegated many rights to local governments. The territories originally allocated to the federal district were carved out of the states of Maryland and Virginia. However, the 100 square kilometers area west of the Potomac River was returned to Virginia as a result of a referendum in 1847, and today it is part of Arlington County and the city of Alexandria. Since then, the district has only been spread over former Maryland land. The establishment of the federal capital was provided for in the 8th section of the first article of the Constitution, according to which a district of no more than 100 square miles carved out of the territory of a certain state should be the seat of the United States government with the approval of Congress. 3 James Madison 1788. On January 23, in his essay Federalist Number 43, he discussed the need for a federal district, arguing that the federal capital should be separate from the states to ensure its maintenance and security. For during the 1783 Pennsylvania Rebellion in Philadelphia, soldiers also attacked Congress, which also drew attention to the importance of security considerations. 5. However, the Constitution did not stipulate where the new capital should be. In the Compromise of 1790, Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and Thomas Jefferson reached an agreement that the federal government would assume more debt from the states, on the condition that the new capital be in the South. The population of Washington in the middle of 2019 was 706,000 people. 2. The population of the Washington metropolitan area exceeds 5 million, and that of the Baltimore-Washington metropolitan area exceeds 8 million. If Washington, D.C. were a state, it would be the smallest in the country after Rhode Island in terms of area, 50th in population ahead of Wyoming, first in population density ahead of New Jersey, and 35th in terms of gross national product. Bill. Georgetown, located north of Alexandria, up the Potomac River at the mouth of the C&O Canal. 14. At this time, Alexandria was an important market for the American slave trade, but there were rumors that abolitionists in the capital wanted to end slavery. 15. In order to retain the lucrative slave trade, in 1846 the people of Alexandria voted to secede from the District of Columbia. On July 9, Congress agreed to return the territories of the Columbia west of the Potomac to Virginia. 4 years later, the Compromise of 1850 outlawed the slave trade in the district in its current form was legally established by the 1871 District of Columbia, which means a moderate climate. 18 Spring and autumn are mild, with low humidity, and winter brings persistently low temperatures, with an average annual snowfall of 420 mm 19 on average. The city is hit by a blizzard every 4 to 6 years. The most violent of these are called nor'easters and are characterized by high winds, heavy rain, and scattered snowfall. These storms often hit large stretches of the East Coast. Summers are usually hot and humid, with daily peak temperatures averaging around 30 C in July and August. 20 The combination of heat and humid air very often causes storms in the summer, some of which rarely produce tornadoes in the region. Hurricanes sometimes pass through here during the late summer and early fall, but by the time they reach Washington, they often lose their strength because of the city's inland location. However, floods from the Potomac River occasionally cause great damage in Georgetown. 21 The city recorded 41 C, the highest temperature in 1930. On July 20th and 1918. Was measured on August 6th, the lowest, 26.1 C, in 1899. On February 11th, during the Great Snowstorm. In the city, the temperature is higher than 32 C on average 36.7 days a year and colder than freezing on 64.4 nights. Monument. 25 However, the height restriction is also criticized as the root cause of traffic problems due to the scarcity of land suitable for housing construction and the spread of the city. 24 Tall buildings are often erected in Rosslyn, Virginia, relatively close to the city, to circumvent the height restriction. 26 The district was divided into 4 quadrants with unequal areas: Northwest, NW, Northeast, NE, Southeast, SE, and Southwest, SW. The axes separating the quadrants start from the capital. 27 All street names include the abbreviation of the quadrant in which the street is located. In most parts of the city, the streets are laid out in a grid. East-west streets are marked by letters, e.g. C Street SW, and north-south streets by numbers, e.g. 4th Street NW. 27 avenues starting from roundabouts are usually from states were named. All 50 member states got a street, and in addition to them, even Puerto Rico and the district itself. There are notable streets, such as Pennsylvania Avenue, which connects the White House with the Capitol, or K Street, where the offices of many lobby groups are located. 28 There are 173 diplomatic missions in Washington, 57 of which are located on Massachusetts Avenue, informally known as Embassy Row. 29 Its architecture. Editing the architectural image of Washington is diverse. On the American Institute of Architects, AIA, 2007 list of popular American buildings, there are 6 Washington buildings in the top 10. 30 including the White House, the Washington National Cathedral, the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, the Capitol, the Lincoln Memorial, and the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Neoclassical, Georgian, Gothic, and modern styles are represented among these and other prominent Washington buildings. The Eisenhower Executive Office and the Library of Congress building were built in the French Empire style. Natural history, the National Portrait Gallery, the National Postal Museum, the Smithsonian American Art Museum, the Renwick Gallery, and the National Zoo. In addition to the museums of the Smithsonian, the American Capitol is also home to several art museums, such as the National Gallery of Art, the National Museum of Women in the Arts, the Corcoran Gallery of Art, and the Phillips Collection. The Library of Congress and the National Archives hold thousands of important documents of American history. The National Archives preserves the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the original amendments to the Constitution. Washington has its own public library network, which operates 27 libraries. The center is the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library, a multi-story glass and steel building at the corner of 9th Street and G Street, NW Quarter. of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, Blair House, Cathedral of St. Matthew the Apostle, Folger Shakespeare Library, the Ford S. Theater, the Frederick Douglass National Historic Site, the International Spy Museum, the National Building Museum, the National Geographic Society, the Old Post Office in Washington, Theodore Roosevelt Island, the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum and the Washington National Cathedral. The United States Department of Agriculture maintains the United States National Arboretum in the northeast part of the city. Television and film editing movies set in Washington, JFK, The Open File, 1991, Love in the White House, 1995, Assassination in the White House, 1997, The President's End, 2013, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 2014, Attack on the White House, 2013, series set in Washington, Dr. Bone, 2005 to 2017, Scandal, 2012 to 2018, NCIS, from 2003, American Vader, from 2005, The President's Men, 1999 to 2006, House of Cards, 2013 to 2018, 2007. Property crimes fell by around 48% over the same period. 35-36. Like other big cities, crime is often related to drugs and gangs. Crime is less typical of the wealthier northwest districts of Washington, but the level of crime increases as you move towards the eastern suburbs. Several neighborhoods once plagued by violent crime, such as Columbia Heights and Logan Circle, have become safer as more sophisticated residents move in. As a result, crime in the city is moving eastward toward Prince George's County.